Hi everyone, my name is Jeff. I'm a fused glass artist, and today in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this fused glass platter. Welcome to Rocket Rose Art. My name is Jeff. Today we've got a reasonably simple project. It's not that hard, but it does turn out nice, and they generally sell in markets and that sort of thing. Now, it'll be just a small platter. I wouldn't call it a bowl, I'd call it a platter, even though it's not flat. Fits into this really small mould. It'll be made using plain black, 3mm black, and then a range of coloured strips. The idea is we'll cut 2 layers of the black to fit our mould, that size. Then we're going to cut strips of colours and cut them into short lengths, and they will be laid up in the centre of the platter so they will fit in here. Sounds simple, and it is, but it is very effective. Now, if you are new to my channel and you haven't been here before, or you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate if you can subscribe. That would be fantastic. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you know when we publish new videos, and then I'll get into the cutting straight away. But before I start cutting, I just need to say one thing. I did say 2 sheets of black before. I've changed my mind. We're going to go 1 sheet of black on 1 sheet of clear. Now, my mould is 185 square, and I've set this guide now to 185, so I can just go ahead and I'll cut my 2 squares. That's the clear. Now cut the black. So that's my black and my clear. So the next thing are the strips. Now, I already have a lot of strips already cut up that I used in a strip construction project, but I'll just cut a couple just so you can see what I'm doing. I don't have many red, so I'm going to just cut some red to start off with. This is tomato red, which is, what have we got, 0024. This is all bullseye, of course. Go that way. Oh, it's a bit crooked that way. That's better. So the width of these, for this project and the last project I had, were all 6mm. So I'll continue to make these 6mm. So it's just, remember, cut in pairs. Oh, that's what happens sometimes. And I'll do some turquoise. The width of these isn't critical, but if you like uniformity a bit like me, this is what I should have done before, start from both ends. Yeah, try and keep them, there you go, still correct. Try and keep them reasonably uniform. obviously didn't. Yeah, there you go. Now you know what can happen. Now each of those I will be cutting to 100mm long. So I'll go through and I'll cut a number of lengths of this to 100mm long, and then I'll be back and show you how I assemble the whole piece. What you see here is how I will assemble this. I have 10 strips here. I've got 9 little spaces. I use 3mm glass to space these out evenly. The idea here is that you'll use these as spaces in the middle, and you put a little drop of glue at each end. Now to get it all lined up in here, I know the distance I need to come in from the sides to get this central. I use a ruler. I place the ruler down so that it gives me the measurements perfectly. A little bit of tape to hold it in place. I then have another piece on the side here, which is just a off cut of glass. I put that down, bit of tape, and that holds it all in place. Then what I would do is I would disassemble it and start laying it up. Keep all your spaces in the middle away from the glue, because you don't want to glue them in place as well. At the end of all of this, I would have started with everything clean. At the end of it, I would then be able to take the spaces out, take my guides off, and I just have to clean a couple of spots where the glue is, or the glue from the sticky tape if there is any. And then everything be ready for the kiln. It will go into the kiln for a fuse, and after that the slump, obviously. Now I won't bore you with watching me assemble all this because it takes time, so I'll assemble all this and then I'll show you this in the kiln ready to be fused. I finished the tack fuse and it's gone okay, and I think I've made a mistake with this one. I would normally use 2 layers of black, and this one I only used the 1 layer of black on clear, and the reason I made that decision was simply because I haven't got a lot of black at the moment and it is hard to get, and I do need some for another project, so I chose to go on clear. And I think that wasn't a great idea, because what's happened is while I still have the texture on these strips on the top, it hasn't rounded well on the side. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take this over onto my flat lap, and I'm going to square up these edges before I then slump it. Now a suggestion may be, if you do this on clear, is to fuse this first, fuse the base first, then put your strips on, and then you should have nice rounded edges. If you don't want rounded edges, you want them square, that's fine. You can always square them up on your flat lap or whatever you happen to have as a grinder. So I'll take this over to the grinder. I'll try and video it for you. Hopefully we won't have too many troubles with vibration, but I'll try and video it for you, and then when that's finished we'll put it in the mould for a slump. I finished grinding all the edges. I've cleaned it all up and it is now sitting on the mould in the kiln. I didn't make the edges absolutely square. I have left a slight round on the top edge, and I'm hoping that will soften it a little bit. Now at the end of the slump, those edges which are raw ground at the moment should have a nice matte finish. So I'll close the kiln now and get the slump underway, and I'll be back tomorrow morning and I'll show you the final piece. Well, what can I say? That hasn't actually worked out as well as I thought it would work out. I did make a big mistake when I put the clear on the bottom. Clear glass takes more processing time to get the same result as black, so the end result is that the bottom layer wasn't processed as much as the top layer. Hence I had to grind the edges a bit to tidy it up before I could slump it. However, it does still look good. As you can see, as I tip this up, you can see that the edge has developed a nice satin look to it. And in the middle here, the strips all have a little contour to them. If you wanted to make a soap dish using this same technique, I would suggest you definitely fuse the base first and then just tack fuse on the strips. And that gives you some height to sit the soap on. Well, there are a number of things that you can do with that platter. Obviously, as I mentioned before, you could change colours, you can use a different type of mould. But the principle of laying up strips in the middle like that and basically just tack fusing them on is, while basic, is very effective. You can get very creative with the colours and with the lengths and the layout of those strips. So this pattern, this technique is very versatile. I hope you've enjoyed the video and want to watch some more, and if you do, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to watch some more videos right now, you'll find suggested videos up the top and down the bottom. And until the next video, I'll say bye for now.